broadcast starts. No! The standard is the standard. We set the standard.
That's right. We're a little delayed, but we are live Prime Time Beef Huddle. I'm your host, DJ K DuB Omaha. To my extreme far right, we have Coach Negron, our regular guest and co-host. It's the only added sound that we do here for the Omaha Beef for all those that claim. Today, this show is Joe's Flawless.
Shout out to Jason Arick, owner of Flawless Enterprises. Couldn't be here tonight. Long work day, doing what he does. But he's our play call sheet sponsor for 2026. He actually started in 2025 at the end of the season, and be on for the entire 2026 season.
There
Exciting.
we go.
Appreciate that.
And what all do they do that you know of? I know they do roofing. I know they do outside work.
Yeah, outside renovation, siding. I think he pretty much is a jack of all trades, local to Omaha, dedicated to the team. You can check them out on Facebook, I believe, Flawless Enterprises, LLC. Find their page. But yeah.
Make sure to like, follow, share, do all that stuff, because without those sponsors, we cannot do what we do here. It's another sponsor that was the last week's show, and that's Ace Torrentone.
Yes.
You know, and this new set that we're kind of working on. So please don't hate us for what's going on. We're extremely sorry. We're a little delayed. We're working on the view. We're working on comfortability.
Yes. Podcast set renovations.
Oh man,
live.
I tell you, man, from where we started,
Yes.
where we're all crunched over behind us, you, me, and Ricky, and where we are today, this seat is way more comfortable, and I don't have to worry about any movement in the seat.
You got a whole couch to yourself.
Whoa. I'm a big guy. It doesn't mean that I need a whole couch to myself, but I will keep a couch to myself.
There you go.
Okay?
There you go. Shout out to the people at Ace Rentone. 7 stores in the Omaha area. Go get all your furniture needs taken care of. Ace Rentone.
And I made sure to make the announcement with them of, that's where I started. That's, if you're a young family that follows us and you're in hard times, or you're needing something where you need a TV, you need equipment, you need a washer, dryer, fridge, go check them out. Let them know the beef sent you, because I had mine for 15 years from there. It was the first thing as a young family at 18 that's what I bought. But of course, we have someone here that's been quiet this whole time. I want to say that I didn't officially meet her until we did Where's the Beef, and hopefully that will drop today or tomorrow. Smoking Jays. Coach and I got out. Lacee B here, the new team vice president. She was at this thing called the wing contest last week. Yeah. Okay. I did not compete because I know where I stand and I'm good. Yeah. Especially when I hear a name like Junebug coming in the
38
house.
wings.
Lacee decides she's going to do this competition with everybody. Now, I didn't even know who. I was like, she's in a beef jersey. Maybe she's just a fan, just going to try this out. She tries it out with Chris Perry. She got Juice there.
Yep.
You have a couple other Jeffs there. Ricky's there. And I'm like, man, hopefully she wins. Maybe she's the ace of spades that people don't know about, that could just eat out of the gourds. But then Junebug said, not today.
Yeah.
So we appreciate those who came out to our Coaches Show official location of Goose's. We appreciate John and his team down there for having this wing contest. And of course, you did some traveling, so you weren't here.
You're to go see my granddaughter.
You got to see family. You got to see also, you taught your last class of something that I could tell you I had no idea was even a part of Coach Negron.
Yeah. So I spent the better part of 2 decades in the multifamily industry. So I taught my last CAM class at the Triangle Apartment Association. Shout out to Raleigh, North Carolina. But they've blessed me to continue on with my coaching career, which is where my head's at these days.
And you come back and we go record this, and I meet Lacee for the first time, and she's sitting there just recording, and I'm like, what is she gonna do? What's she gonna do?
How many
I'm recording.
Did you eat?
6.
She did 6. She made sure I knew that she did not win against Junebug. I said, yeah, I didn't see that.
Sounds like the score of the Beef versus the Dallas Falcons last year.
Oh, pretty close.
So,
Junebug got him.
Yeah.
And was there a prize with that?
So I think he moves on to like the next round. I think there's, like, rounds, but I think the ultimate prize is when you get through all the rounds. There's a cash prize like at the end. I'm not sure how that goes. Yeah.
Well, Lacee, welcome to the Omaha Beef. You've been here now 2 weeks.
Yes.
And first of all, what's your experience? Where did you come from? Where did you start in this kind of industry of sales?
Okay, so I came from Dubuque, Iowa. I came from Iowa Power. Started with the dance team, and then I moved up to front office. I did a lot of I did sponsoring. I did stuff with the football team. I went to some away games. I was making TikToks. I have boys, so my boys, they keep me motivated. I got 6 boys, so 3 do sports, this, that, and third. So that brought me up. I really had no idea about indoor football 6 months ago, but I've been blessed to be a part of the best team, and I'm very grateful to be here in Omaha with Omaha Beef.
What did you learn from your early time there that you feel you could bring to the Omaha Beef? What is Lacee bringing to the Omaha Beef that maybe we didn't have, or what you're Ricky and them on? Because it doesn't matter what I care about. It doesn't matter what Coach Negron. It's all about the upper management, the Ricky, the Jeff, and the people who run this office when we're not here.
So I like to hustle. I like to stay on the move. I like to go from one to the next. So when I was brought to the attention of this by Negron, he asked me like what I did, and honestly, one day I grabbed a sponsor package and I started going to it, and that's what I did. I worked in the restaurant industry. I worked in the casino. So as far as talking to people, I love to talk to people. And so I'm a go-getter. So I went and I got it. And I mean, I've got 2 contracts signed with a Herbalife Nutrition. So we got some protein shakes come in and that type of thing too. So
well, it's funny that you say this because, of course, my wife was here for the last recording. So she heard this conversation, right? The last recording 2 weeks ago, we were just talking about this competition thing that, and the only way that things lead to success is iron sharpens iron and people push other people. And so the bet was how much she's going to sell in the first month or less than a month because she only has 3 weeks.
3 weeks, yeah.
I don't know who's winning. We're going to find out. We still got 1 more week.
Who's winning.
I'm going to win.
Because what happens is when people win, they get more money because it's a bet. It's a true deal bet where people pay, but it's more of the fact of learning of, one, you have 6 kids, 6 boys. I was blessed with my final kid of 4 that was a boy, so I couldn't imagine having 6 in one for that food bill. So that's what also has to motivate you a lot. What is it like with 6 boys in a house? And did you ever go, gosh, I wish I had a girl? Because that was our thing. We had 3 daughters and then a son. And that was our biggest thing was, gosh, he's a boy? No, he's not. We didn't believe until the day he was born. He had neutral clothes to leave the hospital because we did not believe what we were getting told.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I would have never guessed that I had 6 boys, especially with a 5-year gap. So 3 and then 5-year gap and then 3 more boys. Well, diabolical. But as far as food goes, we love pastas, mac and cheese, hamburger helpers. Of course, then we also do snack time. My kids, actually, my oldest, they love to bake. So they do a lot of baking. I don't bake personally, but shout out to Yaya and my dad because they love to bake. So, they've got them on that type of stuff. And, I got them to make their own stuff. So, the oldest boys, they know how to make mac and cheese and pancakes. So it's very helpful towards the babies, and I'm very grateful that they're like that.
So, of course, you get reached out by Negron saying, hey, here's an opportunity. What sparked Omaha for you? Obviously, you're from the Quad City area, right? Isn't that what Davenport's kind of considered? The Quad Cities are right outside.
I'm from Dubuque.
Dubuque. Okay, my bad.
That's north.
I was just a state to me, but I get it. And I do, understand. But Dubuque, okay, so what brings you to Omaha? What made you say Omaha is a place I can go to, thrive, and then also help this Omaha Beef organization?
So honestly, I never really have been to Omaha. I used to march drum corps, so DCI. So I came here a lot when I was younger. But I love Omaha because it's a little big city. So I'm from Dubuque. Dubuque's closest biggest city is Chicago. Chicago's too much fast life. But when I wake up in the mornings, I get to drive fast to work. And then I get to drive around the city in the small towns. And that makes me feel at home, both ways, because I got the small town and then I got the city. So I can look and see the city. And I'm like, okay, it's nice. But then I drive around the small towns. Gas 230. Love that.
It's the little things that some people take for granted.
That's right.
And that's the best part, because
That's
that's
the best part.
what sells Omaha to people, to say, hey, you could be a part of something bigger, but you also have these little areas that you could go to and visit. I know during this time since our last show, I got to go watch 8-man football. Okay. Yes, Omaha Beef, we are 8-man football.
We are.
But when you go to a little city in Nebraska and it's 8-man football, it's a whole different ball game. It was something that really drove my heart full to enjoy the football even more. What I get to do when I cover it for what I get to do outside there. These athletes don't have people that cover it. They play on 40 by 40 yard fields. And you go to this small football field, and just beyond the football field is cornfields. And the crowd for the teams for the students is 99% the females, because all the males are either playing or they're a part of the organization.
Yeah.
That's what I loved about that. It drove what I love about the Omaha Beef. We are a family. The smaller impact of the team, it's only 23, 25, whatever it ranges from. You have the owners, or the ADs, where they're right by you. They're saying and welcoming you. What was it like when you first came here? How was it with Ricky? How was it meeting him for the first time? Because he can squirrel in a heartbeat and say one thing and then goes quickly to another. So I don't know how fast you're obviously talking fast, but I don't know if you can adapt to that. How was that for you?
I can adapt to almost any environment, honestly. I retain information well. And honestly, the way that they talk smack with each other in the office, I'm all for it. I love it. It makes me feel at home. And I don't want to really be anywhere where I don't feel like at home, and when I get up in the morning, I'm like, okay, I love it. I'm going to work, but it doesn't even feel like I'm going to work, and I'm a go-getter. So I'm ready to go to do everything. Whatever we can go do, let's do it. If you need help, and if I need help, they love to be able to be there right with me. And I love that, because I need guidance sometimes too, but I have great people and great mentors I believe that I'm under.
Now, of course, Coach, you referred Lacee to the team. What was it that you kind of noticed in the work ethic, or what you saw that she was involved with the Iowa team?
So, I'm a girl dad, right? I got 5 daughters. I think that, one of the many bright spots from when I was in Carolina is our business had, women who were dedicated and motivated by the business. And look, this is a business that you're either all in or you're all out. You cannot do this business halfway. I think there was a lot of motivation in that. I think that, she's an up and comer. From what I know about the Iowa Power, they're a first-year franchise, trying to build a first-year franchise from scratch in a small town, and watching her do that along with Anthony Bartley and Coach Brandon Henderson, who I've been on. We've coached in circles together. She was one of the driving forces behind that team getting through their season, and so you see that from outside, and you realize talent. It's no different than what I do when I'm looking for football players, right? I saw talent, and we had an opportunity here. Again, I think one of the things that we're trying to do is as much as we love and continue to grow our existing partners, we want to show the beef experience to some new partners. So, she, along with me, now gets to kind of introduce ourselves to Omaha from a new place, right? From a fresh place. So that was the driving force behind it. I think she fits in great with the team. Like she said, she's already signed 2 partners in 402 Nutrition and the Fuel Bar. We're excited about those partnerships. I think that's only the beginning. And I think she said a lot of it. Look, at the end of the day, the transaction piece of partnerships is there is money and trade involved, but I think we're really trying to build a community environment around the team, and I don't look at these partners as 1-year deals. I don't like them to be transactional. I want them to be long term. That speaks to our relationship with 42 Degrees, who's our presenting wellness partner, and Penn Steel Manufacturing. It's on these are partners that are vested in the team for years to come. So I think with Lacee, it's no different. We brought her here to be here for years to come, and she's just adding another component to growing the community piece of what we do.
Well, Coach Negron, of course, like you mentioned there, you're from out of state. You're working your way to get to know businesses. What's one thing that you were able to pass on to Lacee to understand about the situational awareness of businesses around here? Because, of course, every town has them. They all have the small businesses. They all have the ones, but you got to find the right ones that fit with what goals you're trying to reach. What was kind of your word of encouragement to
just
her?
Look, you're building relationships with these people. We're going to be an organization of our word. So what we tell you we're going to deliver, we're going to deliver. If we didn't, because a lot of times, look, being new, I may walk into business, maybe things didn't go exactly the way that business had hoped. I want them to be honest with me. And if I feel that we as an organization didn't deliver on something, we're going to own that, but we're also going to commit to doing it even better, this time around. And I think that, is probably the biggest advice I give, not just Lacee, but, our office as a whole. And that comes from our boss at the top. It's, we are going to execute on what we tell you we're going to execute on. Right. And so that's how the relationship is built. The relationship is built on trust. The dollar amount is never going to matter if you don't trust us, right? So, and look, we in a lot of cases are dealing with small businesses most of the time. And when they're investing portions of their marketing budgets, which may be small in nature, to partner with us because they trust us, that means a lot to me. So I don't want to let those businesses down, whether it's a partner that partners with us at our lowest tiered partnership, or whether it's a large scale partner like a 42 Degrees. I want them to be able to say, Coach Negron and the Beef delivered on what they said they were going to do. Lacee and the Beef delivered on what they said they're going to do. So that's probably the most advice I could give her, or the best advice.
Lacee, of course, coming from Dubuque and coming to Omaha, what was probably the first maybe thing that, you're taking a risk? You're getting out of your comfort zone. What was kind of your first thoughts there? And then what have you kind of found comfort in being here?
The beef brings me comfort in being here. My kids are back home still in Dubuque right now. So my biggest thing is to do what I need to do for the team, for my family and myself, to get this ball on the road. But I mean, I'm doing it one day at a time. My kids and my family are going to be right together by next week, and then from there on out, it's just continuing to build a relationship with our sponsors and, players. That I'll get to meet some players this weekend. So that'll be kind of cool. And I mean, I love it. Honestly, it's great. I love new adventures, but this is probably the best adventure I've taken in a long time. And I'm ready to stay, keep going.
Well, of course, you're going to be meeting our fans at different events and really getting to know the family of the Omaha Beef Nation. What is, what's your go-to outside of all this sales and all this? What's things that you and the kids love to do? What's something that someone should know about you, that if you have a rough day, this is what you get to go relax? What's your go-to and your thing that you like to do?
I love to take baths. I love to cook dinner, and I love to get my nails and my toes done.
Simple pampering.
Me too.
Hey, I'm going to be honest. It took my wife 18 years before I ever got my first pedicure.
You did the pedicure?
And it is the best thing for a guy that is on his feet as much as I am.
Absolutely.
You've got to take care of those dogs. I'm just telling you. I don't go all the time. She does. So props out to my wife. I don't go all the time. She does. But I go probably about twice a year, maybe 3 if I'm lucky, especially before a trip. Like, you always got to go to a trip, right? But here's what I want to tell you. When you have other guys that have always doubted that part, and then they finally get it done, The first time they don't call you. The first time they just tell you about it
Right.
afterwards. Dude, I'm so glad I did. I'm at work 2 weeks ago, and it's actually my daughter's boyfriend's dad calls me, FaceTime, not just calls, but FaceTimes, and goes, guess where I'm at?
Getting a pedicure.
Getting a pedicure. So if you haven't had it, Coach, I'm sorry.
I will not confirm or deny that I've had a pedicure.
We're gonna go together soon.
That's right. That's right. Well, Lacee, welcome to the Omaha Beef.
Welcome to the
and
Omaha Beef.
we greatly appreciate anybody that is just doing nothing but pushing the family atmosphere. Obviously, having 6 kids, you know what it takes to not just provide for those kids, but be an example to those kids. And the hustle, the grind is stuff that those kids will remember all the way through. So we do want to welcome you to Omaha Beef. And anything else, Coach, that you have for Lacee, or any other questions that you want to throw out there?
You ready?
Oh, shoot.
Oh, no, she's good. We're just glad to have you. I think, it's been 2 weeks now. You're doing great. Just keep doing what you're doing. And, I'll tell you the same thing I tell everybody else. Welcome to the New York Yankees of indoor football, right? We're the best for a reason. So just enjoy the ride.
All right. Well, with that, thank you, Lacee. We appreciate you coming out. We're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll see who we got. If I could get this, see these technical difficulties, but I promise we getting them. We'll see you here in a moment.
It's pretty simple. We change oil.
As a single parent, I come here because I trust them with my car care needs.
It's been very good, very fast. I've never had to wait.
They've never tried to upsell me, but at the same time, they have always given me options.
It's great customer service, very friendly staff, and it's really fast and easy to get in and out.
Stop by King's Fast Oil today. We change oil with a smile.
I love these guys.
Ace Rent to Own. 4 ways to save. 1. Cash sales with our best price guarantee. 2. Up to 12 months, no interest. 3. Short-term leasing. And 4. Our best rent to own low weekly rate.
Ace Rent to Own, where we make friends.
All right. I am back here, but before we jump into Coach Cain is back on the couch. Well, this is his first time on the couch. What week is it? It is tryout week. We greatly appreciate JK Personal Touch for that amazing video for the tryouts that are coming up this Saturday. And I know there's a question in the comments that I got to go to that we'll get to. But Coach Cain, first I want to say welcome back. What have you been up to since the first show you were on, man? It's been well over a month. Let the fans know what you do. You got a new job around this area, and you're working, and your family's getting together and getting you guys on the feet in Omaha. What's it like for you so far?
It's just been busy, working every day, helping coach build a roster, answering text messages from anyone and everyone, phone calls, but just trying to enjoy being in Omaha, trying to find things to do. My wife, just got back into town. So, hopefully be able to go do something this weekend, but it's been good. Just staying busy.
All right. You brought up a great thing, putting a team together, a roster, but I think also you guys have got to be in the works of a playbook, right? Or do you go roster, take time, and then playbook? What's kind of been that aspect for you? Of course, passing the reins down, it's not easy. But you made it very clear. You are going to pass the reins to him, and you're going to do it proper, Coach.
We have a great plan. I've always been very clear with Coach Cain on what my expectations are for him in terms of building the playbook. I mean, it's his to build right now. I have specific terminologies and vocabularies that I like to be in any playbook, no matter who's drawing up the schematic, and we'll keep those. But look. I'll probably say this 100 more times between now and the end of the season. My ego is in winning, not in play calling, right? So when we win games and CJ's play calling led us to that, that's exactly what I'm going to articulate to anybody who asks. I just want to win football games. We look, man, we've been together for a while. We are going to know how to do this together. And I think the other piece of it is this allows me to, I talk about this with the players all the time, but, he's a young up and coming coach in the professional ranks. This gives me an opportunity to provide a vehicle for him to showcase his talents. Right. So, there's some things that he knows that I have to do, some kind of, I don't want to call them deal breakers. I think that's a bad word, but, just some basic requirements. But beyond that, I've told him that the field is wide open and be as creative as he wants to be.
Well, I mean, Coach, you got to be honest with it. It's called checks and balances.
Yeah.
Without checks and balances, no matter how much you pass down, you'll never get the person to achieve what they want to achieve if you don't have
100%.
those.
Yeah.
If you just give it to them
Right.
with nothing coming from behind or nothing of, hey, we're going to do this together, they'll never grow. So I think, CJ, I think he's got you in the right state of mind for that. What has kind of been your biggest thing this past month that you've been looking like when it comes to players and looking at getting this roster together and things that maybe players who are going to try out this Saturday might not take the full word in when we talk about it?
Yeah. So the biggest thing I've told every guy when I talk to him, I don't care who makes the play. I don't care who scores. I don't care what your stats say at the end of the day. Like Coach said, I'm here to win. Point blank period. I mean, I didn't move my wife, myself, our two dogs 27 hours here to lose. Like that's just not an option. But I talked to a lot of the guys we've signed or worked to sign, whatever. And I tell them all the same thing. If you're the guy that game, you're the guy. If you're not, it's okay. We still have more opportunities. The ball's going to come to you. You're going to have an opportunity to make a play. But if you're scared to make a play, Omaha's not for you. That's just the nature of it. For fans out there watching, my mentality, like I'm not a guy that's gonna be all over social media talking about what I can do or what we can do. The scoreboard's gonna speak for itself in the most non-egotistical way possible. I'm here to do a job. I don't care about what everyone else thinks, feeling, stuff like that. Like at the end of the day, it's football. We all get paid to do it. We all get paid to coach it. Whether we're up 50 or we're up by 5, like it's the same mentality.
What do you think in your mentality that you got to change from the player aspect to the coaching when it does come to these tryouts? Of course, you've been a part of tryouts. You've been seeing it from a whole different view where it's all about how you perform and what you do. Now you got to really analyze these players along with your current roster and not just go, this is what I see in them, but this is what I see where they're going to fit in. They have to have a piece to the chessboard to be a player. They can't just be a player that's going to do what they want to do. So how's your change in your look for that?
Yeah. So you hit the nail on the head. It's where do you fit into what we're doing? When you go look at our signings and you look at some of the guys that we haven't announced yet, I mean, we have a very talented roster. But that being said, we still have opportunities for guys. This is not a situation where you just come pay, your $60, get coached up for a couple hours, we give you a high five and we send you on your way. Unfortunately, there are teams that do that. But that's not what we're doing. We're here to truly evaluate the guys that want to take time to invest in their career. I get it, $60 at a certain point may be tough, but at the end of the day, what are you willing to invest in your career? That's the first thing. If you show up to the trial, you already have a check mark in my mind. Whether or not you run a fast 40 or you jump well, you do this or that, that'll be seen. But the fact you took the time to travel, whether it's 20 minutes, 2 hours, whatever, you're investing in your career because it may not be with the Omaha Beef, but Coach Negron, myself, we know people. If we feel like we can help you continue your career, whether it's here, whether it's somewhere else. That's what we're here for. We're not here to just, gatekeep all the good players and do this. And like, we unfortunately can only carry so many guys to camp. So when that roster fills up, that roster fills up. So, the mindset is who's going to come out and compete, who's going to come out and show us that they deserve that spot, because we're not giving it to anyone. At the end of the day, if no one comes out and showcases their abilities at the tryout, we'll just go sign a free agent somewhere. That's just the nature of professional sports. This isn't semi-pro. This isn't
just because you showed up, you get a spot. You're the only wide receiver that showed up, so that means that you're in.
Right.
This is livelihoods. There are guys on our team right now who could have a CFL, a UFL, an NFL opportunity with the right circumstances with us.
And we hope they get that.
Yeah. So this isn't just a bunch of guys who, work at the local Walmart and do this and do that and just come play football for fun. Like there's guys here who take this serious. They train year round for it. They do everything. I mean, I was one of those guys. I played this sport. I was a pro for 5 years. I put my everything into it every single week, every practice, game, lift, everything, because to me, this was my NFL. I didn't get a chance. I did the workouts and did that stuff, but like, this was it for me. So I was going to make the most out of every opportunity. I was blessed to get opportunities throughout my career in different leagues and things like that. But it started because I took that first step. So that's what guys, whoever's watching, whoever's on the fence about it, you're never going to know unless you go.
Yep.
If you hope that we're going to just call you because maybe you played 3 years ago or you did this, you did that. That's not the case. We're not here to just be 5-5. We're here to, come middle of June or end of June, whenever it is that we're hosting and winning the championship game in the slaughterhouse. That's the goal. And if you can't get along with that, or that's not your mindset when you show up Saturday, I'm sorry. Like, we
might not be the place to
this
show
might
up.
not be this might not be the place. And there's other opportunities for you, and we'll help you along the way. But we're not. This isn't rec league for the in the nicest way possible.
Coach, of course, Saturday is coming real quick. The
25th, 2 to 5,
2 until 5 p.m. over at the Iowa
Sportsplex West, Council Bluffs.
Now, first of all, pre-registration, that stuff should happen.
Yeah, so you can go online, beeffootball.com, $60 to register. The flyer is on multiple social media outlets. You can actually just scan the QR code. It'll take you right to the link to register. If you don't pre-register and you want to register on site, you can do that. It is $80 the day of the tryout to register, because there's a little bit more admin work involved when you don't pre-register. So that's why you got to pay a premium. We want you to save a little money and register. I did happen to see, I hope it's okay if I do this, DJ K DuB.
Well, we'll get there.
Hold comment. Okay.
I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get to that comment.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
I will get to that.
But yeah, so that's that. And I think Coach Cade said it best. I've said it before. Do not think that you're going to get off the couch and come to a tryout where I'm the head football coach and you're going to do anything. I can just tell you that's a bad decision. Show the game respect. Show your profession. If this is what you want to be, to me, when you call yourself a professional, you show respect to whatever your craft may be, right? So to insult the game by just thinking you can get off the couch and come be part of the longest running indoor football franchise in the country is an insult. There's a reason why this team's been in the championship 5 consecutive years. There's a reason why we've won 3 out of the last 5. But I will say that my goal is always to sign 1 or 2 guys out of a tryout. And my track record is indicative of that. The last 3 tryouts that I've been a part of, we have signed guys from that tryout. So I very much hope that there are some guys at the tryout that force us to give them a contract via what they put out on the field. Again, nobody's entitled to anything, but I think that if you're making the effort to pay, to come out and to compete, you've already started to check off boxes in terms of work ethic and character that we like. So, I'm hoping we come out of the tryout with, 3 or 4 guys.
And if you look at your previous tryouts and now where you're at now, what's the biggest thing that you from your previous tryouts that you're hoping you can continue to grow as this year comes? That's the first thing. Second thing, what is your word of encouragement for Coach Cain to understand the difference between playing and reviewing these players when it does come to a live tryout? Of course, some of your signings are previous players for him, and some are ones that we've seen the tape. We don't need the tryout, right? What are you telling him to kind of look at?
I think the biggest thing for me that I've learned over the years of doing tryouts is just don't go into it with any, preconceived notions about what will come through the tryout. You'd be shocked the talent levels that can come through the tryouts. I'll mention a guy that's not on our team, but just has made his way around the indoor ranks. I met Kevin Voiles, who played for me starting in 23 when I was coaching under Coach Fuller, and then played for me again, a little bit last year. I met him at a tryout. And look, seeing the way he played over the last, 2.5 seasons, that's not a player that should have to come through a tryout. He's a guy that he should be able to send film to teams and get signed. So, don't dismiss, I guess, the value of a tryout, because it took one tryout for me to never forget who Kevin Voiles is, right? As far as advice for Coach, first off, I think sometimes we underestimate his resume. I don't know that I have to give him a ton of advice. He did coach collegiately, and he's I think he can give as much advice to anyone as anybody. But since he does, still look at me as the I guess the couch.
That's the only reason I'm bringing it up.
Yeah. My advice to him is always going to be about him continuing to make that transition from player to coach. I know that that's hard, especially when he just played at a high level. His last game was probably his best game of the season in terms of, the outcome and all that stuff. So he still has the competitive juices of a player. It's a big separation. I never played at as high as levels as he did, but it took a long time to just get out of the mindset of, I'm not a player, right? I do think it's good for us in terms of balance that we have as a coaching staff within the locker room, because in a lot of cases he can relate to what the players are feeling, sometimes even more than I can. I'm a little rigid, especially as we get closer to the season. I don't want to use the word unapproachable because I'm not that, but I'm a pain in the ass. And it's nice that I have a balance. Coach Loftus provides a balance. Coach Marty provides balance. So, my advice to him is just continue to find that sweet spot of, yes, I played. Yes, I may have even played with you, because there are guys that we've signed that he's played with, but I'm your coach now, right?
Yeah.
And make sure that line remains clear.
So, of course, we have the tryouts, CJ, and we have John Doe in the chat. He asked a good question before we get into kind of what people should expect if you're coming. He says, are tryouts Saturday combine style workouts or 7-on-7?
Yeah, so it's going to be a blended style. We need to see first, before we put you out there and let you see what we're trying to do and run our plays and learn some of our. Can you run? Can you jump? Can you do the basic fundamentals of football? I'm sorry to say it, but if you're a receiver and you run a 4.9, you could catch every ball in 7-on-7. It's gonna be real tough for us to look at it and say this guy's gonna be an impact player. We should give him a contract. That the measurables and stuff like that does matter. Obviously, if you're 5'8" or 6'4", and whoever the better player is going to be the better player. But yeah, we're gonna start off doing some combine testing, some stretching. Just do the whole basic startup. And then we're going to transition. We're going to, do some individual based things where we can kind of teach through things. We're going to put an emphasis on the run game, the pass game, do some special team stuff. These guys can show us everything they can do, because just because you're a receiver, you might be able to show us you can backpedal and play DB. You might be a D lineman and show up, but maybe you can pass it a little bit. You can play some O-line. So, in this indoor game, the greatest thing you can do is play multiple positions, so being able to do that's going to get you evaluated even more than just saying, well, I only play this. Obviously there's exceptions. If you're a quarterback or, things like that, we're not going to ask a quarterback to go play linebacker, but look, at the end of the day, if he wants to make the team bad enough and that's his route, that's his route. So it's going to be combine testing that we're going to finish. We're going to do some one-on-ones. We're going to do some about 10, 15 minutes of like a true, 7-on-7 period where, Coach Loftus, excuse me, is going to be doing some of his base coverages. And then we're going to be doing some base concepts and, just seeing, can they grasp that? Because it is different than the outdoor game. Cover 2 in the outdoor game and cover 2 in indoor is going to be a lot different. Running a post route in the indoor game versus running a post route, when you were in college is going to be a lot different. So can they grasp the fact that everything is the same as far as terminology, but you're on a 23-yard field wall to wall that's 50 yards long? Can you do that? Yeah, they're fortunate they don't have to do it with walls around and stuff like that. Seen tryouts where teams do it in arenas so guys can see what the walls are going to feel like and things like that. But, we're going to have the field marked off. It's not going to be, you being able to run these 7-on-7 routes where you're always going to get open, or 1-on-1 routes where you're always going to get open. Like, it's going to be, can you run a concept? Can you do different things? Can you show us that you understand football?
Coach Negron, any of the current players that I know when we had TJ on, he kind of was talking about any of them coming out to kind of check it out and and help be a part of it?
Absolutely. So we'll have several of our local guys there. I don't want to necessarily go through the roster because it could be half the team. But I will shout out 2 guys that are coming from out of town. So we'll have our newest, not new. He was, I believe, our first signing of 2025 for the 2026 season. Javi Flowers, one of our wide receivers, is flying out. He'll be there. Chad Hall, who was on the team last year, unfortunately got hurt in camp with a season-ending injury, who's fully recovered. He's coming into town to be there. I'm going to, just let those guys speak to the trials and tribulations of indoor football and give the guys some insight. Corell Colmoose should be there. Corell, of course, fan favorite and came to this team through a tryout. So we'll have the guys there to dive into the mental a little bit. Again, I want the tryout guys to get some player perspective as much as they get coached during the tryout. And I'm going to use this as an opportunity based off what Coach Cain said, just to kind of give any tryout guys who are watching just some insight on how things are looked at differently in the indoor game, right? So Coach Cain mentioned the 40, right? And when you think of, so let's just say a guy runs a 4.5 40, right? Well, when you're measuring a 40 from a stationary position on an indoor field without an somebody get in your way, and you don't have a wall getting in your way, whatever it may be, right? Because you may not have a guy get in your way, but he may route you towards the wall, right? So the question becomes, do I have 4.5 seconds for the quarterback to hold the ball for you to get 40 yards down the field, which is 80% of our field, right? The answer is no, right? It's 4.5 seconds in an indoor game means the play has broken down, right? So there's no, I'm letting Coach Cain head up a lot of the tryout, but I think he 40 at a tryout. None. Right? You could run a 4.2, but if you can't run a route properly, if you don't know where to sit in space in a zone, if you can't identify pre-snap, it's easier for you to make it in the outdoor game with those deficiencies than it will be in the indoor game. And that's just a part of understanding that this is different. This is much different.
And to also go with that, are you coachable? That's the biggest thing we're looking at. We can teach you how to do certain things. We can't teach you if we say, hey man, if you get this certain coverage, set it down right here, and you continue to run yourself into coverage. Or, if you're always ad-libbing a route so you can try to get the ball. Like, we don't care. I would be just as excited to go to Coach Negron and say, hey, we keep talking a lot about receivers and DBs because that's the biggest transition you know, versus to the outdoor game and indoor game. But say, man, look, this receiver didn't catch a ball all day, but every route was ran correctly to the correct depth. He found the hole in the zone. He helped get someone else open, because that's a part. There's one football to go around.
It's conceptual.
Like there's one football to go around, and we have a really good receiving core, but that ball, there's one ball to go around.
Yeah,
everyone's going to want every time the ball to go to them, but that's just not going to happen. So same thing, same thought process in the tryout. If you don't get the ball, it's okay.
Yeah,
when you do get it, make a play. So, you know, can they understand the rules when we're telling them, hey, you know, you have one step maybe past the line of scrimmage on your high motion before they call you. Can you time it up with the quarterback? Quarterback, can you make sure it's your job to make sure that he doesn't go off sides? So that's what we're looking for. It's not all about the 40 time, the broad jump, the vertical. Can you do the little things?
Correct.
Well, and of course we got one of our favorites out there, Brentley Allen, saying he wishes he could be here. We know we'll see him when everything comes to, but
keep getting the foot better.
That's right. I do want to say though, you know, for anybody that is listening, make sure that you understand when we talk about these players coming, there's only one thing that they get to do. They get to be there to show you that they're a part of the team.
Absolutely.
They get to hold clipboards. They get to have a conversation. They are not performing or doing anything in the tryout.
You talking about our sign player?
Yeah.
Oh,
I want to make sure everybody's on
Let
that
me be
same
really
page.
clear about that. Yeah, no, these guys are coming to be representatives of the franchise. No,
hold clipboards,
yeah.
maybe a pencil, maybe a timer, you know, but none of it is, you know, and kind of coach it up. But they are not there to run routes. They're not going to show you what they do.
Demonstrating. Nope. And look, I also want to be really clear on it. It's a tryout. You know, we're not going to spend. You can be coachable, but this is not. This isn't an instructional camp, right? You need to know what you're doing already. So if you're coming there thinking that we're going to teach you how to play indoor football, again, I encourage you to stay home or come be a fan and enjoy the environment. Right? I expect these guys to come in ready and prepared. And look, I've seen the registration schematic and who's coming. I think a lot of some of the guys are coming. We got some dogs coming, so it should be an exciting day.
Well, of course, for myself, you know, normally I'm around all this, but I got to DJ a Husker game, and then I got to go DJ a Union Omaha soccer game.
Well, Huskers got to get right, man. So
they do
DJ, yes.
Well, but
they got
not
Northwestern.
At the game. It's at a bar.
That's all right, though. That's a support.
You create the atmosphere.
Go Big Red.
That's right. That's right. Because if they're winning in the atmosphere, everybody's
the weather
winning, right?
will be good if they're winning. Right? Come on, Nebraska, let's go.
Are you ready for the cold? I mean, what's your cold experience? That's a great question.
Great question. And to answer that, I was not ready this week. I was shocked when I went to the truck in the morning. It was 35 degrees. I was like, okay, Omaha, I see you. So I'm adjusting.
So what you're saying is, if I needed you on the lawn crew and it's 42 degrees out, weird 42 degrees.
Shout out! We did that on purpose.
You know, I couldn't see you on a mower.
I'd probably put me on the afternoon crew when it's a little bit warmer. I don't know that I'm good to report in the morning.
Let me come out. Coach K, what weather have you been around? You've been around it all, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you played up in was it Montana, right?
No, I've been in
Wheeling. Was probably as far north as
Wheeling. My bad.
That's as far north as I've played. I mean, I lived right outside of Cape Cod. So,
okay.
So it gets real cold there in the winter, but it's a different cold. You know, you're right there on the ocean, so
yeah,
it's a different breeze. But I mean, I've lived in Illinois.
Okay.
I did a whole week where it was -22. So
you didn't come from just Carolina, where you know.
Yeah, I mean that's where I was born and raised. I keep joking, you know, it's. We get this temperature at like Christmas, and then it's like a week, and then it goes back to 60s and sunny. It's been a little bit of a transition, but it has been real nice. Been able to just sleep with the windows open, cut the AC off. That's been pretty nice. Save a little money, but
I love it.
Yeah.
Thinking of the little
but back
things.
to your question, I would gladly hop on the mower. My only question would be, what's the price?
What's the dollar amount behind it? Get out of here. Of course, you know, we have that big event Saturday. Nothing's ever that's our biggest thing that we have, but there's other things coming up. We of course have the tryouts for the dance
Dance
squad.
team, November 8th, Stocks and Bonds.
And Sunday isn't Sunday
It's
their
their prep class, yeah.
prep
So
class?
I think the way it goes. Wow, you got me talking about this. I'm gonna screw this up for sure. I think you go to the prep class, and that preps you for the audition, right? So
Okay.
you want to be involved in the prep class, because if you're not involved in the prep class, I think you may be behind the I think they call them
Yes.
routines in the audition. So I know that.
And he's going to be at these auditions.
You see that? You like that?
Didn't you have daughters that
Yeah,
did
what does
that?
that mean? That doesn't mean anything. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything.
That doesn't,
but-
because I mean, I'm going to be honest. I had 3 daughters that did dance. The only thing that I got to do was towards the last 3 months before the recital, we would do a father-daughter, like the guys would do their thing, and we do a dance at the end of the show. But we weren't there for all the practice and all the verbiage and all that. So yeah, so they're gonna learn the routine, and then they're gonna have their stuff at Stocks and Bonds,
Yep.
November 8th.
Yep.
What else is going on with the beef? Where can people find us?
So
What's going on?
we're gonna be attending a trunk or treat at the Iowa West Sportsplex also Tuesday, October 28th. I believe it starts at 6:00. Go on the Iowa Sportsplex website, and they have all the details on participating in that. I think it's a free event. You know, all the different vendors and businesses will come, and we'll give out candy. That's the new way to celebrate Halloween with trunk or treats. Really cool. We just did one at one of our other partners, White Castle Roofing in Roca, which was really nice. So yeah, so we got that, and then I think we're going to take a little break, kind of in December, and then we'll start getting into BCS parties and Super Bowl parties with different partners and things like that. So yeah,
be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
I have to put this one up there. I'm guessing the price just wasn't right. Randy Cain jumps on and says,
that's Dad.
That's Dad. He says, you never mowed at home. Coach Cain.
Put on blast live.
Right there. Look at that. You never.
That's awesome.
He's like, the price wasn't right.
I mean,
He was about to Bob Hope him if he wasn't careful.
I mean, to be
Got
fair-
him. Got him.
Awesome.
Oh, man.
Way to go, Dad.
Yes.
you guys just made his whole day.
Hey, that's
He
what
said-
this show's about, man.
It
It's-
is 9:05 on the East Coast, and my dad. The fact that he's still awake at 9:05, the only reason he's awake is because I called him before I got here and said, "Hey, we're gonna be on the show tonight." He said, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I'm glad he made it up.
There you go.
Well, guys, I appreciate your time. I know we started late. We got to meet Lacee, the new
Yeah.
team VP.
Dang, Rick.
We got to go into, of course, too busy making.
Ricky Burtz has entered the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh boy, was the
Some
writing
people would
more
think
not big
Ricky's
enough?
not real because he just only talks in the chat.
Hey, he's been on the
He's
show
been on
a
the
couple
show.
times.
Yeah,
If
he
you-
might be due for another guest appearance.
If you don't follow the beef closely, you would think Ricky's a make-believe person.
Like
because he's a bot because he just jumps in the chat every time, no matter what.
Yes.
He could be sitting 2 tables from us and he's in the chat.
What are you talking about? He was across the table throwing up barbecue sauce and all this and that.
Shout
I'm
out
not-
to Steve and Grandma Foster's barbecue sauce.
That's right. I'm not gonna say what else it's appropriate. Everything's appropriate. There is no limitations here what we can or cannot do. But I tell you what I really enjoy is, one, make sure you're checking out Where's the Beef. We have a new one that's coming out. Make sure to go support those businesses because we appreciate you. And if you love food and you're not following Coach, I don't know what else you want to do, because he's going to let you know about the good food that you don't know, because you might stay in your neighborhood. And if you're that style,
Get out the neighborhood. I'm
Get out
telling
the
you, there's
neighborhood.
good food all over this city. I am going to respond to this comment because while I expect the question, John, why would I tell you on a live podcast what the biggest position need is at the moment?
Hold on. Coach Cain did answer that. You didn't hear him?
I thought we needed football players.
Exactly. No, John, good question. I
Yes.
mean, that is exactly what Coach Cain said. He said best availability is going to be the all availability,
Yes.
where you are just showing your talent. The rest, and I say this from the retired who will probably come out of retirement. I'll let him do his thing, but look at Tobias Taylor last year. He played offense in the running back. He played tackle.
Hold on. Let me be really clear. I never wanted Tobias to play
didn't say
defense.
you
He
wanted
put
to.
himself in the game.
Hold on. Let me get to that, though. That's what I was getting to is those were his ambitions.
It was.
And he was wanting to show. And I hate to tell you, he showed his ass.
Please.
He showed his ass.
He's going to clip and record that.
Clip and record it because he was also the plug-and-play player of the game.
We love you, Champ Taylor.
Yes, sir.
So now I want to answer John's second question.
Okay.
So in this game, it
gets me excited. I like that question.
So special teams is obviously
1/3,
and sometimes it's one half of the game. But in our game, I mean, we dress 21 guys. We keep 25 guys on our roster. The likelihood that we have a guy just to play on special teams is going to be very low. Now, all of our skill guys, our DBs, receivers, D-line, linebackers, they've got to be able to play on special teams. But I don't want to speak for Coach, but I feel like it's pretty safe to say we're not going to dress this tryout just to be a special teams.
Hold on. There's one position.
Well, there's a kicker.
Thank you. One kicker.
Hey, but you know what, John? Listen, man, I'm an advocate for you because my career was built off of special teams. So
I can't relate. I didn't have to play.
Right.
I didn't have to run.
Couldn't get him. I made him go on kickoff and kick return.
2023, I was on kickoff return.
Sure did.
I also,
he did that because he loves me.
Sacked the quarterback.
Yeah, sure did that too. Did that. So John, listen.
One against Albany.
To answer the question, look, in the indoor game, you're not. He's right. You're probably not going to get signed solely to play special teams. But if you have aspirations to get outside, you absolutely want to make an impact on special teams because a lot of times your career growth is going to start where you can get on the field, and you can get on the field on special teams because look, it's whether you want to admit it or not, CJ, as a player, look, there are times during a game where I'm begging guys to get on kickoff. Right. So those guys that never tell me no, you remember that, right?
Yeah.
You remember those guys, right? So
and you know who else remembers it? All the media and all
whoever's
of the
sitting
fans,
in the audience. Yeah.
All those front row fans remember those who constantly get on the field.
Man, look, I have playing, a couple years ago, we played the Iron Man style in the NAL, and so that
really didn't want to get on kickoff.
Played everything.
No, yeah.
But like some of my fondest memories were like interacting with the fans when they see me standing out there to run down on kickoff, and they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Look, man, I don't want to do this either, but here we are." So
you know who's good on kickoff? Tavin Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Tavin was real good on. Actually, one of my best tackles of my career playing indoor football came in 2023. I tackled Darius Prince on a kickoff.
Oh shoot!
Was he sick?
Hey, pop the tape.
Hey,
watch the tape.
Watch the video. All right, Coach, before we get out of here, going into camp, how many are you guys able to have for camp? What's the numbers? Obviously, you talked in season 23 to 25.
Yep. So you can bring 35 to camp. And so camp will start late February and go through our preseason game, which will be March 7th. You can dress up to 35 for the preseason game. Then right after the preseason game, you have to cut down to 25 because that's game week, right? March 14th is our first game. 5 on the roster during that week, and then of course you'll go 21 active for the game. So we'll carry 35 guys from anywhere from a couple days to the full the full allotment of camp. That'll be up to them, of course.
Get out of here on this from the media side. Remember, every opportunity, whether it's with me, JK Personal Touch, or any of us that are out there trying to show who the Omaha Beef players are, take advantage of it. For number two, if we ever go to any restaurant, take advantage of that. We've said that multiple times because those are the people that continue to make this thing happen for the players. Third thing, just know you never know when one clip, one thing could turn into something else in the future. And I say that because I've seen it, I've heard it, whether it's an interview that I've done where I have had a father say, I have had NBA recruiters talk to me because of how that video happened.
Yeah.
Everything you put out there, if it's in the right state of mind and done right, could always land an opportunity. So stay tuned and be ready for
Well,
that.
let's say this too before we close out, man. You know, we talk about showcasing talents and giving people opportunities to grow within their careers. Why don't you give yourself a little bit of a shout out, man? Your podcast is growing. You're leading this. Our show gets better and better every week. We got couches now. Like, I mean, look, we're moving up in the world. But if I'm not mistaken, did you interview a former Cornhusker last night?
I did.
Yep.
Jared Tomich,
Yep.
Former NFL player. He was one of the first that did the Prop 48.
Yep.
So that goes for anybody that has disability in learning.
Yeah.
To ever think that you can never be an academic All-American is just total false.
Yeah.
He had to sit out his first year, you know, but once he learned that he was an audible learner, there was a way in college to get him to become a academic All-American and become a pro NFL player for multiple years. And the cool thing about someone like himself, and this goes for anybody that's trying out, he had no one as far as parents to tell him that have done it before. So if you're the first in your family, or you're the first that's doing it, look at those who have learned from those people, because those are guidances. And that's why I do the interviews. Is it's always great to hear that you're not the only one struggling. You're not the only one going through something. And if you feel that way, please, please, please just know, reach out to someone. I promise you, you're not alone in those things, especially in the hardships. You know, that's always my blessing that I always give in any interview. And as you even saw with Lacee,
yep.
if someone to just talk about a struggle that they've had in that situation, maybe we can help one person that's 100%. Listening. So
100%.
I appreciate everybody. I appreciate really you guys, you know, let me do what I do and be a part of the Omaha Beef. That's my number one thing. And as I tell everybody, this is like he says, the Yankees, this is my Super Bowl. Everything that I do for the Beef is a Super Bowl.
Yes,
it is
sir.
a ring all day, every day.
Yes,
now
sir.
I got one in my bag, unlike a couple that are sitting by me, but they're going to earn theirs this year.
Listen, man.
I hope
I'm here
you're ready.
for a reason.
I want to ring
me.
Okay, my bad.
All right,
okay.
man. Close out the damn show already. Let's go. Listen,
right.
Fans, you're invited to tryouts. It's open to the fans, right? So we'll have some players there, like we talked about. Come get autographs. If for the tryout guys, if you're freaking out that I just said open to the fans, well, you're not going to be playing in front of an empty arena. So if you can't showcase your talents in front of some of our fans, it's too bad for you.
Well, we can't guarantee what happens when we leave the slaughterhouse.
Right.
Some people may not travel well. So, but for the most part, you're going to play in front of a lot of people.
Oh yeah, I have no control over visiting venues. I only control this venue. This venue is a packed house, the best place in indoor sports to play football.
Well, I mean, the only way to get out of here is the only way we always get out. Once again, always remember, go Beef.
See you guys.
Oh man, getting out of here. See, now I got the mouse not working right. Boom.
See ya.
Nope.
We're still here.
We're still here. We're still there. Boom. See ya.
The standard is the standard. We set the standard.